Hi, Wellness Wizards. I'm Brian Hogan, life coach, filmmaker, clinical therapist, and founder of the S.H.I.F.T model. Welcome to another Fractal Friday video, your weekly oasis at the intersection of creativity and well-being. Today, we're going to do a guided experience using the S.H.I.F.T model to regulate our nervous system and experience a felt sense of safety. You can return to this practice anytime you need support to regulate because our culture is so dysregulating. S.H.I.F.T stands for Somatic, Holistic, Internal Family Transcendence. S for somatic, because we heal through the body. H for holistic, because we account for all parts of our experience. I and F for internal family, because we practice how to lead with self-acceptance. And T for transcendence, because as we do this work, our natural ability to heal and transcend begins to emerge on its own without force. So take a moment to arrive. You don't need to change anything. You don't need to calm down. You don't need to understand anything yet. Just notice that you're here. Feel the surface supporting you. Notice where your body is in contact with the chair, the floor, or the ground. And let your eyes gently orient to the space around you. Maybe naming a few neutral or steady objects. If at any point this practice feels like too much, you're always allowed to pause, open your eyes, or stop. You are in charge of the pace. Curiosity and attention are enough. This is not a practice about excusing oppression. It is not about forcing meaning onto pain. And it is not about calming yourself so you can tolerate injustice. This is a practice about safety first, because regulated nervous systems are harder to manipulate and easier to mobilize. So if it feels okay, place one hand on your chest or belly, or gently hug your arms around you, offering containment and warmth. And then let's begin. So without diving into stories yet, notice what happens in your body when you hear words like oppression, injustice, or systemic harm. You're not analyzing, you're noticing. Where does your body respond? Tightening, heat, pressure, heaviness, numbness, activation? Let yourself know gently. Let these parts know. You don't need to flood me right now. And you don't need to disappear either. Just say to them internally, you make sense. Of course you feel the way you do. Anyone who's been through what you've been through would feel this way. Stay oriented. Notice the room. Notice that you are here, now, and supported. You can feel this and remain centered, connected. Some of what you are feeling did not start with you. Our nervous systems don't begin at birth. They are shaped in families, cultures, and histories. Patterns of vigilance, silence, compliance, rage, or hyper-responsibility are often inherited, not just through stories, but through bodies. This doesn't make your experience less personal, it makes it more real. So if it feels okay, imagine behind you the many lives that came before you. Not as ghosts, not as burdens, simply as nervous systems that adapted so survival could continue. If it feels aligned, you can place a hand on your belly or your chest and gently rub it or hold it and signal safety. And you're allowed to say, I see you. You're not in any trouble. You can rest here for a moment. And now we intentionally create safety. So look around and name silently or out loud 3 things you can see and 2 things you can hear and 1 thing you can feel in your body that is neutral or okay. And notice your breath, letting your exhale be a little longer than your inhale, not forcing, just allowing. You might gently tap your collarbone or the side of your hand, or place your hands firmly on your body to contain yourself and say internally, I've got you now. I'm not going anywhere. Safety doesn't erase truth. It gives us access to it. So from this place of relative safety, gently invite awareness inward. You're not searching, you're allowing. If any part of you feels like it's carrying something that doesn't fully belong to it, a burden or responsibility, fear, silence, vigilance, or endurance, let that part know it's welcome here. You might say, tell me everything. There's no pressure to speak. If a burden makes itself known, notice how it feels in your body. Not the story, the weight, the shape, the sensation. Now, if it feels right, imagine the highest potential for good of your lineage becoming present. Not as specific people and not as perfected beings, but as the accumulated wisdom, strength, and dignity that made your existence possible. You don't have to see anything clearly. A sense, a presence, or a feeling of connected steadiness is enough. And gently ask, does this burden belong to you? If the answer is no, or even not entirely, allow this part to pass the burden back to the ancestors in line behind it. Offer it to the ancestors or generations whose life required carrying it, to their highest potential for good that can hold it now, gladly, willingly, and without harm. You are not abandoning this burden, you are returning it. And you might say internally, this is not mine to carry alone. You can have this back. And imagine your ancestors taking this burden off your hands, saying, thank you for surviving this. I've got this now. And as the burden is released, notice what remains. Space, warmth, grounding, emotion, or nothing at all. Whatever happens is enough. Now gently invite these ancestors, again, their highest potential for good, to offer any wisdom you might need as you navigate a world where oppression still exists. You're not asking for answers, only for support. If nothing comes, that's okay. Presence itself is wisdom. Just let this moment settle and stay tuned in. And from this place, gently reflect without forcing any insight. What matters so deeply here that my system responds this strongly? Oppression does not create meaning, but it reveals it. Outrage points to love. Grief points to attachment. Resistance points toward our values. This is how meaning forms, not by excusing harm, but by clarifying what we stand for. You might say to your parts holding this awareness, you can stay. You can stay. I'm not going anywhere. Notice how you can be with the truth of your experience and the truth of an oppressive society while still sensing your body, your breath, and the room. This is capacity. This is flexibility. This is strength. Regulated nervous systems are harder to manipulate. They are less collapsible under fear and more capable of sustained action. Healing is not retreat. Healing is preparation and participation. Each time you regulate without abandoning yourself, you reduce the transmission of harm. and increase the transmission of clarity, dignity, and care. This is not soft work. This is radical work. Let your body register that. And begin to reorient again now, noticing your environment. Feel the support beneath you. Let your eyes open if they were closed. Place a hand on your heart if that feels aligned and just say, I see you. I've got you now. You are not required to turn pain into purpose today, but you are allowed to trust that regulation creates options. When you're ready, return to your day carrying whatever feels supportive and leaving the rest here. Thank you for practicing the shift, and thank yourself for practicing the shift. Save this, share it with a friend who might benefit, and return to it anytime you need space and self-acceptance in a cruel and unjust society. I trust you, humanity. See you in the next video. Bye.